Greetings, dear viewers. Today I'm going to be talking about Nickmercs, whom recently I had never even heard of, and the whole situation revolving the controversy. Now, if you were to simply look at how these news articles are framing it, IGN calls it what Nickmercs said an anti-LGBTQ plus tweet. Forbes after LGBTQ comments, after anti-LGBTQ comment, because of course Kotaku's going to say that. And then you have people like Dr. Disrespect standing up for him, calling it Call of Duty pathetic, which I agree with. So if you don't know the story, basically, here's what happened. This guy, again, Nickmercs, had never heard of prior to today. He is a very popular streamer that apparently made a tweet or comment that said, leave little kids alone. They need to leave the little kids alone. That's the real issue. Now, if you live in, the real world, that should not be a bad thing to say. But unfortunately, we don't live in the real world anymore. We live in clown world. And in clown world, saying something like you need to leave little kids alone is apparently this mind-boggling, totally bigoted thing to say. But then again, saying that a woman's a woman is, bigoted. We literally live in clown world and it's absolutely insane. And that's the problem with the world that we live in. In today's age, basically, you can be whatever you want to be. And if anybody tries to tell you that you're not, well, they're the problem. See, Nickmercs, all he said was that they need to leave the kids alone, and Activision pulls his skin from Call of Duty. Why? Because apparently what he said was bigoted. And again, if you look at all these left-leaning companies, they're going to sit there and say, oh, Call of Duty removes streamer skin after homophobic comments. Leave the kids alone is not homophobic. How is that homophobic? Unless you're saying that homosexuals go after little kids. Like, legitimately, this person says homophobic comment. Unless you are calling homosexuals pedophiles, which is what this seems to imply, because all he said was they need to leave the little kids alone, and you're calling it homophobic. So you're apparently saying he's going after the gay people, which he wasn't, by the way, at all. Fact of the matter is that society today has gotten way too comfortable with being able to talk to our kids about whatever they want. And if the parents object, they're the ones that are called bigots. They're the ones that are called terrorists. While as I have two twins that just came into this world, less than 2 months old now, I can tell you personally, I'm not going to want some blue-haired freak telling my kids that they can be a two-spirit animal. They can't. I have a daughter and I have a son. And now you might say, oh, well, I hope they're gay. And if they are, I'm going to love them all the same. I have no problem with gay people. What I have a problem with is people trying to push these ideologies onto kids. And they say, well, kids know what they are. Kids can know what gender they are. At 8 years old, I wanted to be a velociraptor. And then, after that, I wanted to be an alien. And then after that, guess what? I wanted to be an archaeologist studying aliens and dinosaurs. At 8 years old. But no, I could know back then that, if I played with the Barbie doll, I should have been a girl. That's the kind of insanity we have. It's like this world has forgotten what it's like to be a child. And they try to make it, like, literally, there are people who make arguments for being ageist. I think Piers Morgan got, it was either ageist or childish, whatever, because apparently he realized, like I realized, like most people realize, that when it comes to children, they need structure and order. They don't need to set the terms of how you parent. You set the terms of how you parent, and they are supposed to fall in line because that's how children are. They don't know anything yet. The fact that I have to say this, the fact that Nickmercs can say something like leave the little kids alone and get called anti-LGBTQ comments, homophobic comments, and all this other stuff. I mean, he's back on, and apparently from what I've heard, he hasn't apologized. He literally said that he doesn't feel like he said anything wrong. And honestly, he has gained massive respect from me just from that. honestly, I really do believe that, he's actually got some big comments. Because honestly, if you're going to say something like that, I mean, you might think it's innocuous to say something like that, but at the same time, I mean, if he hasn't been burying his head in the sand, you would know that in today's world, saying something like that is going to rub some people the wrong way, and clearly it did. Again, I want to know exactly who this person is because apparently Ash Parrish thinks that saying leave little kids alone means something homophobic. So apparently Ash Parrish thinks that homosexuals are pedophiles, and we need to get this person reported because this is honestly offensive. Because I can't stand it when people make blanket statements like homophobic comments, or saying something homophobic because apparently saying leave little kids alone is homophobic. I mean, I'm just putting the logic there. Leave little kids alone, homophobic. Anyway, what did you think about this? Let me know, and I'll see you next time here in the Twisted Nightmare Studio.